You are watching AYV Television.
Freetown, good morning, Sierra Leone. Wake up. Welcome to Wake Up Sierra Leone on AYV TV and radio 101.7 FM. Well, whether you're watching us or listening to us from the provinces or in the capital city on Channel 33 or on DSTV Channel 399 from Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia, Gambia, Senegal, Guinea, across the continent, welcome. Or from Australia, the UK, US, and all our social media platforms. It's the 8th day in May 2026. My name is Sonia Jafar. Welcome to the show, and please stay with us because in the next 2 hours, we'll bring you news, views, and sport. We're broadcasting live from the top of Tower Hill in the heart of the city. Send your comments through our socials on AYV News Facebook page on the stories that we cover. And also on those stories that includes 2.5 years up to the 2028 general elections. This morning we shall be evaluating the candidacy of Hans PDF Doherty, who has declared his intention to run for Freetown City Mayor election under the All People's Congress APC party, aiming to build a safer, healthier and more prosperous Freetown. And also we're expected to have Anis Moses Isaac, who will be speaking on the power of resilience, positivity, mentorship and giving back to communities, including her book's title, Then She Smiled, and This Is My Pen. We'll also be expecting Nigerian rising star songwriter Adubi, who has gained attention with his 2026 romantic Afro-beat single titled All Over You. We'll be speaking on his live stage performance at Scarlet's nightclub Aberdeen in Freetown. And lastly, the entertainment ambassador Caldinero and legendary Ami Kalon are blending culture with modern vibes in their powerful new anthem Unity, a true celebration of Sierra Leonean music. We will bring you more details. But before all that, let's get a quick message from our sponsor, Wakeup Commercial Bank, and all that advertiser. We shall be right back. Stay tuned.
More and more people are using Wakeup SIM Copper Plus in their everyday lives. Did you hear that? She just transferred money for her daughter's school fees. And this man just paid for some products. Ah, Mr. Abu, are you sending money to your wife again?
Yes, like a Wakeup SIM couple.
Ah.
Yes, like having money in my pocket.
Ah, excellent.
Thank you.
He just bought some eggs. The world is digital, so keep up with the times. Have you got a payment to make? If so, just download Wakeup SIM Copper Plus now. You can download the Wakeup SIM Copper Plus app from Apple iStore and iPad or Google Play Store for Android users. You see, it's fast, safe and reliable.
Sorry, car, go see some business partners.
You didn't give me my money, Michael. Can if I can say you give me this car, people in not to Indy. Today you pay me my money. I don't send it for let you help me send money in Ghana. 2 weeks now you not send me money and 10 you not give me back my money. Today, give me my money.
You know ever sabi goodness in life. I dey send back your money, but trust me, today na the very last day I dey ever send money for now.
I don't need your help because I don't know so with Afri money. I dey able send money. Now baku Africa countries them with Afri money. We dey able send money to over 10 African countries, whether it's Ghana, Gambia, Liberia or Kenya. If me party we know this, We not follow the body grammar right now.
Okay, una go regret. I mean, now me na the guy. Una go regret.
The best part right now, Michael, with free money, you dey able to send money, even if you not use app, even if you not the online, directly. All you need for do, you just a dial *161#. Pam, your money don't go. So I don't need the help again. Thief man.
Thank you.
Send money to over 10 African countries instantly with AfriMoney. No stress, no excuses. Just dial *161*1*6# now. AfriMoney, quick and easy.
Good to see your face again. It's been a very crazy day. The joyous feeling in the air when rain falls on a sunny day.
Happy, yeah. Let the stars, let the roll.
Enjoy life's little pleasures with Maltina. Maltina, share happiness.
As mama, I always want waiting best for me picking them, especially when it comes up waiting them for eat and drink. Now this make I always they choose Sarah juice because they make come from with local foods them and nutritious and it gets less sugar than the other drinks them. Not to me say so.
We lab test show say Sierra juice gets 50% less sugar than the other drinks them na the market.
Because we mama they know waiting best for we picking them, now you make we always they choose Sierra juice. Sierra juice and nutritious, it healthy and it's sweet. Sierra juice, not the taste of Salome. Well, welcome back. A gentle reminder that this is Wake Up Sierra Leone on AYV television and radio in Freetown, Sierra Leone. TGIF, thank God it's Friday. And it's entertainment. As the entertainment ambassador, Carl Dinero and legendary Ami Kalon are blending culture with modern vibes in their powerful new anthem, Unity. A true celebration of Sierra Leone's music. Reggae Splash 2026 is set to light up Cabana Beach front with reggae-rimmed African culture, unity, and unforgettable live performance this Sunday. And after shutting down the East End, Famous is now talking Sierra Leonean music global as he prepares for his highly anticipated concert in Paris. Now for more entertainment news, let's join Gianni. I'll be right back.
TGIF, thank God it's Friday and it's great to be back bringing you all the exciting entertainment news updates on Wake Up Sierra Leone. I'm your host with the most, Johnny, aka the Big Flexer. And right about now, let's dive right in. So, Sierra Leone's entertainment industry is reviving cultural sounds and blending them beautifully with modern day music. And now the entertainment ambassador, Cardinero, has teamed up with legendary Sierra Leonean cultural musician, Ami Kalon, widely regarded as the queen of Mende folk music, and a song titled Unity. I won't say much, let's enjoy this masterpiece.
To step in it, to swoop in it, to step in it. Unity better than division. No wants me, yeah, be in it. Me need married Timmy, they married me there. I come all lungi, but me best study, come on shake it. Can't they predict the future like that man with the trade, yeah. Rams but cool, like snip press with the trade, yeah.
I know, you know, we all know Cal is really talented. I absolutely love the blend of Mende and Timni dialects and the song, and this is exactly what we need to see more of. And we shouldn't allow modern trends erase identity. You know, I was born in the 90s, but I listened to music from the 70s, the 80s, you know, those kind of songs, they're very organic. So I love the way that Cardinal really tapped into our cultural heritage and just made a classic banger with Ami Kalon. You know what time it is? Yee! Still on culture, Reggae Splash is here. Yes, bringing you bold African culture while celebrating reggae music with an authentic African vibe. And it's happening on Sunday, 10th of May 2026 at the Cabana Beachfront. The event honors Bob Marley while celebrating the heartbeat of Africa, and the night promises unity, freedom, and culture, with live performances and a lineup of some of Salon's finest artists all in one place. Sierra Leone's music scene is on fire right now. When I say fire, I mean like fire don't catch you. I mean like we're buzzing right now, you get me? And we're right at the center of it as none other person but Famous is on top of his game right now. And what fans are already calling a historic night, Famous delivered a completely sold out Eastern Live Band concert, proving once again why he remains one of the most dominant and electrifying performers in the industry. The atmosphere was magical as hundreds of fans packed the venue singing word for word and vibing to every beat. You know what I'm saying? No pressure. You know what time it is. And backed up by a powerful live band, Famous showcased not only his catalog of hits, but also his growth as a true musician, you know, a true stage performer. From high energy anthems to emotional crowd moments, the performance left no doubt as Famous right now is operating on a whole different level. In other words, Famous is a big boy right now. Might don't go. And just when it seemed like he couldn't go any bigger, he's now taking things international, fresh off the success of the Eastern Shutdown. Famous is gearing up for his highly anticipated Paris concert. You know, so they call it Paris. The upcoming show is expected to mark a major milestone in his career as he takes his sound, style, and Sierra Leonean pride to one of the world's biggest cultural capitals. Watch this. From the streets of the eastern parts, the bright lights of Paris, this is more than just a moment, it's a movement. I want to say kudos to my brother, Famous, and he'll be going to USA, I think, Belgium, and the UK. So he'll be touring, you know. Famous, what's up? No pressure. also making headlines, Nigerian music superstar David Adeleke, famously known as Davido, aka Obio Bades, has announced an indefinite break from music. Speaking during a live stream, the Obio crew now revealed that fans should not expect new music from him anytime soon, as he's currently taking a sabbatical from recording and releasing songs. And according to Davido, he doesn't need to constantly release new music to remain relevant because his existing catalog continues to dominate club playlists. If you bite the finger where they feed you, how you want to do transfer? You know what time it is as well, and I'm going to answer that one tonight, as DLB is live in Sierra Leone, and I will be performing alongside Sierra Leonean singer A-Busy. And make sure you don't miss out and vibe to his latest song, All Over You, All Over You. If you bite the finger, all over. Alright guys, that's all for entertainment news on Wake Up Sierra Leone. And before I go, a big shout out to my amazing producer, Conventonia. This is blow, Hannah Yankson, you know what time it is. Shout out to you. Shout out to our VMix operator, I said to also our sound operator for today. And until next time, I've been your host with the most, Johnny, aka the Big Flexer. I'm signing out. Back to you guys in the studio.
Well, that was Johnny reporting there. Many thanks to you. Well, from that entertainment report, we return to our studio where in 2.5 years' time, Sierra Leoneans will go to the polls to cast their vote for president, MPs, councillors, mayors, and chairmen, and so on. In today's edition of Wake Up Sierra Leone, we shall be evaluating the candidacy of Hans PDF Doherty, who has been declared his intention to run for Freetown City Mayor election under the All People's Congress APC party. He is positioned as a grassroots development drive and candidate aiming to build a safer, healthier, and more prosperous Freetown. Doherty is also a professional medical administrator who returned from abroad to establish hospitals and strengthen the local health care system. Good morning, Doherty.
Good morning.
It's lovely having you here.
Thank you.
So how long have you been in Sierra Leone, coming back and forth? I meant to understand that, you came from abroad and, of course, declared your intention. But you have been doing so much more than that.
Yes, well, I started coming to Sierra Leone in 2017.
Okay.
And I started doing little businesses and try to find ways to reduce our youth unemployment. And I also try to replicate my business in the US, back in Sierra Leone. And but I've been involved. I'm not coming to Freetown solely because I wanted to run for the opportunity. I've been in Freetown and I've been participating and involving in economic building as well as creating positive change.
Okay. So why do you want to be a mayor? Why mayor?
Well, we all know that Freetown deserves good leadership. And we've seen where Freetown is today. I personally believe that Freetown deserves to be cleaner, safer, and economically driven. More especially, we've seen how sanitation is a problem, road congestion, we've seen how youth unemployment, the list goes on and on. And definitely, I think with the leadership experiences that I've earned over the years, I will be able to bring those experiences and try to create that positive change that Freetonians are looking forward to get.
Okay, so of course, when we were explaining the intro, you stated that your intention is to build a safer, healthier, and more prosperous Freetown. So what are the three main urgent things that you may have, from what you said, you've been coming back and forth, you've been engaging grassroots and other people. So basically, you must have done a survey and tried to see, okay, these are the gaps that needs to be filled. So how do you intend, what are the three main urgent issues that you think that needs to be settled or arranged in Freetown?
All right, well, problem number one is we have poor sanitation issues. We've seen our floodings, we've seen how our waterways have been blocked, and that needs to be taken care of. We need a proper sanitation waste management system. So that's number one. And number two, we've seen that youth unemployment is rising every day, and I have created jobs over the years, and I know that this is something that I'll be able to do. And here is how I'll be able to achieve this. I will create vocational training for our youths, and also I will try to make sure that that we have the youth participate in developmental programs like skill training programs, and that way they'll be able to become entrepreneurs like myself. I believe that there are a lot of job seekers instead of job creators. And then also, when we look at our markets, it has always been an issue. We know for sure that as mayors of Freetown, our many responsibilities will include sanitation, dealing with markets and urban planning, and also revenue collections. So those are the areas that I've been looking at, and I know that come 2028, if I have the mandate to be the next mayor, I will ensure that Freetonians sees the change, and Freetonians will work with me to bring those changes on board.
Okay, so of course, as you may know, revenue generation has always been a major issue for the Freetown City Council. There's always a complaint about, capital and so on and so forth. So I'd like to know, what is it that you may do differently, and how do you intend in generating more funds without putting too much pressure on Sierra Leone, especially with the economic crisis going on presently? How do you intend to generate funds, or to try to get more funding to ensure you achieve all the plans that you just mentioned?
All right, so first of all, Freetonia needs to see that the taxes that they're paying are being accounted for. I have an accounting and finance background, and I believe in ethical leadership. I believe in financial reporting, and I believe that as the next mayor of Freetown, by God's grace, I should be able to report, to engage Freetonians to see that their taxes are being collected, and we have to make sure that they know where the taxes are going into, how those funds have been managed. And once we are able to do that, we will be able to attract donor funding, and we'll be able to attract private sector funding. And having all of that in place will create the opportunity for Freetown City Council to achieve the things that they're supposed to be able to achieve. But revenue collection has always been an issue for Freetown City Council. And I will make sure that we do our utmost best to ensure that those revenues being collected are being used and they are being reported.
So you mentioned, of course, you rightly mentioned, revenue generation is quite a major issue and has been an issue for so long, God knows how long. So we'd like for you to take us through strategic plans that you may have in place to try to execute all of these plans that you have in mind.
All right, so it comes down to collaboration, right? And of course, with God's help, I have the ticket to be the next mayor for Freetown 2028. I have to make sure that I work with the local government. Working with the local government, it does not have to come, we don't have to do it by force. It has to be with respect. Can generate revenue that will be able to support our systems. And having those systems in place will also attract opportunities outside. Sanitation is a problem. Urban planning is an issue. We've seen how migration challenges, people are building waterways, and we've seen unemployment issues. I want to believe that having the mandate, which I consider as a social contract with with people of Freetown will enable me to make sure that the things that I'm supposed to do are being done on a timely basis. And as I likely said earlier on, I believe in ethical leadership, financial reporting, just to make sure that people know where the money are being spent.
Okay. So, Dorothy, like you rightly mentioned, so there is a, how shall I say, we have a lot of strong candidates you're aspiring for within the APC. So what will happen if, you know, the position is not given to you, but given to somebody else? Are you going to keep all your plans to yourself, or do you intend to work with whomsoever that is choosing for the position or selected for the position?
As a member of the APC party, I have made it abundantly clear. If I'm not given the opportunity or the mandates, I am 100% behind whoever would have the opportunity to be the next mayor for Freetown. But I've always considered myself as a stronger candidate because I've involved with the people of Freetown, and I've tried to create opportunities for the people of Freetown. And I'm sure that looking at my background and the experiences that I've earned in the years and what I've done, I'm not coming into Freetown because of politics or because I'm seeing the opportunity. I came to Freetown because I want to serve Freetonians. I want Freetonians to see what it means to be a mayor of Freetown and how that can create a positive change to the lives and betterment of Freetonians.
How strong are you, you know, as a member of the APC? Mind you, you have to be eligible in order to be, you have to be an active member, paying your dues, so on and so forth. How active have you been to even make sure that you're even eligible for this particular position or to even run for this position?
I have been an active member of the APC party since 2007, and I've paid my dues, and I participate in every activities that they have had so far.
Okay. So, of course, we also have in the studio Anis Moses Isaac, who will be speaking on power of resilience, positivity, mentorship, and giving back to communities. Her book's titled Then She Smiled, and This Is My Pen, including her orphanage and scholarship initiative. Let's take a short break. When we return, we'll continue with our next guest.
More and more people are using Wakeup SIM Copper Plus in their everyday lives. Did you hear that? She just transferred money for her daughter's school fees. And this man just paid for some products. Ah, Mr. Abu, are you sending money to your wife again?
Yes, like a local SIM couple.
Ah.
Yes, like having money in my pocket.
Ah, excellent.
Thank you.
He just bought some eggs. The world is digital, so keep up with the times. Have you got a payment to make? If so, just download Wakeup SIM Copper Plus now.
You can download the Wakeup SIM Copper Plus app from Apple iStore and iPad or Google Play Store for Android users.
You see, it's fast, safe, and reliable.
Sorry, car, go see some business partners.
You didn't give me my money, Michael. Can if I can say you give me this car, people in not to in Andy. Today you pay me my money. I don't send it for let you help me send money in Ghana. 2 weeks now you not send me money and 10 you not give me back my money.
Apologies for that technical glitch. We continue with our next guest. We also have Anis Moses Isaac, who will be speaking on power of resilient positivity, mentorship, and giving back to communities. Her book's titled Then She Smiled and This Is My Pen, including her orphanage and scholarship initiative. Good morning, Anis.
Good morning.
It's lovely having you here.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
Absolutely. So we're here to discuss about your book, This Is My Pen and Then She Smiled. Take us through the journey. What really inspired you to write about those books?
My first book, But Then She Smiled, was based on me trying to remind people not to be focused on the negative things, because if you leave, you're going to have challenges.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to put something out there in the atmosphere to let people know that regardless of all the hiccups, you have to be focused on how you rise from it. Initially, my idea was to put out a book on grief to help people navigate through that sad times. But then I sat back and I considered it and said, I'm such a bubbly girl, why don't I do something instead about smile? Because I've always believed in the power of smile. So I decided to have my first book on positivity. In that book, I break it up into 12 chapters, broken up into months, and each month I dealt with a challenge that I have personally gone through, and I talk about the challenge briefly, not telling all my business out there, of course, and then I talk about what I did to overcome that challenge, and then I also have daily positive affirmations, just to put people in that positive space, to remind them that there is always a little bit of light in the midst of all the darkness, and we should focus on the lessons and not focus on, you know, look at me, my situation is so bad. Because once you have that mindset, it really propels you to be better and just learning from the situation rather than being focused on, or that self-pity, because that just drags you down and sends you straight into depression. So that was my idea, and I just wanted to help people to remind them to be happy.
So it's a good thing you wrote about your story, or some part, like you mentioned, you didn't put everything out there. So as you know, the world is quite a different place right now. People are not, even though they're scared, sometimes people want to let out how they feel, what they're going through, in order to just feel like, sometimes they say, you know, a problem shared is a problem solved. Well, now it's a different case. A problem shared is going to be a BBC World Service News everywhere. So people get really scared to explain what they're going through and how they're going through about it, you know. So how was it for you to even have that courage to explain maybe some personal things that people even around you didn't know about, but then you had to pen it down in your book, and that book started as a resilient form for you? How was it? What courage? When was it that you particularly decided that I am going to write this book, and I want the world to see it so that they know that if you share your problem, and at the end of the day, you're going to smile?
Yes, well, if you want to help people, you have to be real. One of my greatest strengths is to be authentic. So I definitely wanted to, my first goal is to help people to recognize that positivity helps. So if I'm not authentic, they're not going to be relatable. So I wanted to make sure that I was relatable so people can say, hey, look at her, and she's still smiling. Again, I protected parts of my life. I can't put it all out there. I don't want to, because I have to protect family, and I don't believe in, you know, even I live in America and I watch people just put everything out there. I don't think it's the right way. But I think telling parts of your life so people can relate and take lessons from it or learn from you, I think is a good way if you are in that space where you want to help people. Not everyone wants to be a writer or that positive power or force to help people. I chose that. So you have to be brave enough to share parts of you that some people rather keep private. So if I want to help people, I had to keep it real.
Absolutely. So for people who haven't come across your book or read your book, kind of take us through just a synopsis of what the book is about. You know, highlights key, but like you mentioned, it was divided into 12 segments. Am I correct? So take us through the main important ones.
So in January, because my first book is But Then She Smiled, I talk about divorce. I was married before. I've remarried for 20 years, and unfortunately, you go in forever, but sometimes things happen and it falls off. So I do not recommend divorce, but it happens. And I talk about how sad it is and how difficult it is, because 3 children from that divorce, and how people can bounce back and learn how to co-parent. So I talk about that in January. In February, I talk about, you know, the power of self-resilience. And in August, I talk about death, because that's when I lost my sister, which was not too long ago. And the shock inside of it, and how I navigated through grief. There is no handbook on how to deal with grief, because in that space when we lost my sister, I have a mother who's 85, lost a daughter, and my other sisters, so we all grieve differently. I am an extrovert, but when it comes to grieving, I am an introvert. I'm an introverted griever, so I watch my sisters crash, and I was that person that stood up and took care of everything. I talk about loss of friendship. People talk about divorce, but they forget to talk about how hard it is when you lose good friends, when the circle broke, you know? And I always say that sometimes it's more painful, because as girls, and I don't know about boys, but I think I know a little bit because I have 2 boys and I have a husband. I think girls get so connected in this circle that when they lose a good friend, it's like a terrible divorce. So I also talk about the pain of losing friendship. I talk about how we lose when we don't try. Fear will hold us back. I give an example of, not a major one, but my fear of swimming. And I talk about how I try to get out of that, because sometimes get on a plane. Imagine what you're missing out. All the networking you could have done to actually be in person at meetings, to see new countries. I talk about just my growing up here in Sierra Leone. So it's broken up again into 10 parts. And in December, I talk about rebirth and relearning and rebooting. And all my challenges in that space as well, where, you know, whether it's losing your job, financial obstacles, and what I did to get over that. I talk all the time about what it means to be raised by a single mom. You know, she had to raise 4 girls and 2 boys and plenty other children that I would just bring home, because that's just how I've been. I mean, one time they sent me to the market, and I ended up bringing 3 Liberian refugees home. So that was me, and that's the pressure I put on my mom. But in all of those spaces, the focus on my main story, what I want people to take away, is the fact that you have to be resilient. That no is a complete sentence, which I didn't know, because I'm always like, yes, yes, you know, and tire myself out. And I want people to be reminded that when you fall, it's not the fall, it's how you rise. It's how you rise. So don't go looking back about all the things you did wrong. You can only go back and look at them to see what you did to get up.
Got carried away by just listening to you and forgetting that I'm supposed to be interviewing you, but it's quite a good one. So you often talk about giving back to your community. I would like to know, what advice is it that you have for people that are stuck back, like you mentioned, stuck in the past with, you know, negative experiences, and decide not to really move out of that particular past event, but still stuck in there? How do you intend in giving back to your community or Sierra Leonean?
Well, to be a community person, you have to have the passion. So I've had many bad experiences, but that is never, ever going to stop me from helping, serving in my community where I live in America, or coming back home and giving back. You have to have the passion. You have to want to help people. I also go back and feed from my story. Again, I was raised by a single mom. My father had plenty of money. And there's a poem in my poetry book that says, Daddy was rich, but my lunchbox was weak. So you figure that out. So my mom had to do all kinds of stuff to make sure. I'm also a scholarship recipient. Someone saw in me that she's very smart. She needs to stay in this private school. And they gave me a free ride. At the time, scholarships were not even spoken about. And I'll forever be grateful. I'd been in the school, was doing well, and Daddy said, I'm not going to do it anymore. And my mom said, I have to take her out. So for that reason, I've always been focused on mentoring and a scholarship projects and helping girls to just propel them to get the best education that money can afford or charity can afford. So if you are stuck in a negative place or you've had bad experiences, don't let that prevent you from helping a little boy or little girl or anybody to get the education so that they can sit in these spaces and give back. Because somebody is going to, if you help 1,000 people, maybe just one will come back and do what we're doing. But we can't stop helping. We can't stop serving our community. We have to keep giving back. This is our land.
So Anis, we'll get back to you shortly. Let me go over to you, Mr. Doherty. So of course, it's 2 years and some few months towards the general election.
Yeah.
And doesn't your declaration or intention to be a mayor too early now? Because mind you, Australians may question, does he actually have a genuine intention, or is it a situation of what every other politician does?
Well, no, I don't think so. And here's the reason why. I believe in positioning yourself. And I want to reach out, I want to be able to reach out to every grassroots. I want to be able to reach out to every community so they get to know who exactly I am. As I said earlier on, I've involved in a lot of opportunities in creating employment, businesses in Sierra Leone. And the reason why I've been doing that is because I want to give back to my community. I want to give back to society. I want to create a positive change. And I don't think it's any way early. I think it's an opportunity for me to be able to learn more about the problems of Freetown, to be able to identify those problems and sit with the communities and leaders in those communities, how we can identify solutions to those problems, which I've pretty much been doing. And it's all about serving humanity for me. So I don't think it's any way early. I think it's an opportunity for people to get to know who I am, to be able to ask questions rather than waiting 6 months to the election period and make a declaration and people will be in haste. Who is he? What have he been doing for us in Freetown, and how can we trust him? Because trust has been an issue. And since I've been going around meeting with communities, they've been making that point very clear that most politicians will come to us, will tell us blah, 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 and once they have what they've got from us, it's over, it's done and dusted. I don't want that to be the case of mine. I want people to get to know me, to get to understand me much better, and I'll be able to understand what the problems really are.
So, like you rightly mentioned, you've been engaging with the local stakeholders, that of the grassroots people, and you've heard some of these challenges. We would like to know what are some of the gaps that you believe that even the current administration right now is failing at, and possibly you can fill in those gaps. Well,
there are a lot of gaps to be filled, but I don't want the question to be more of what the current administration of Freetown City Council is failing at, because our current mayor has done a phenomenal job. Imagine you stand against all odds, and she has been having difficulties in getting funding from local governments and be able to finance some of those services that needs to be delivered. We've seen what happened when the rain came a few days ago, and there are a lot of garbages everywhere. And I'm pretty sure everyone knows that it's been quite a long time since Freetown City Council have received any funding from the government of Sierra Leone. And so I don't want to well. But now, looking at the gaps, we know for sure that sanitation is a problem. Waste management is a problem. Urban planning is a problem. unemployment among the youth is a problem. And sometimes even revenue collection or revenue generation has been a problem. And safer neighborhoods as well has also been a problem. So I've been able to identify all of these problems. I've sat down with community leaders, we've talked about it, and one way that I can resolve those issues is when I have the opportunity or the mandate to become the next mayor or be the next mayor of Freetown City Council, I will make sure that I get myself involved in every decision-making process with our councillors and also with stakeholders in the community. I want people to be involved, so when there's a project to be done, they're part of that process, they understand what the expectations are, and as I said, I believe in ethical leadership, I believe in financial reporting. I need people to understand that, yes, this is what the project is about, and this is what is expected, and this is what has been done.
You know, there is a saying that charity begins at home. Firstly, please, where do you stay within Freetown?
So I'm a Kisitonian.
Okay.
So
that's where you're residing right now?
Yes,
presently.
exactly. Yes. So I'm a Kisitonian. I believe I was born and raised in Kisii, and I understand what the difficulties are, and I went to school in Kisii. I had the opportunity to further my studies, did my high school at the grammar school before I traveled out of Sierra Leone to the UK, where I had my bachelor's degree, and later traveled to the US where I had further my education. But when you talk about charity begins at home, it's about me. I have created opportunities. 2017, 2018, I bought war buses, as it's called, as form of transportation that was helping. Traveling.
So you said that was.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I wasn't making any money out of it because I had, for example, just to create some employment for the youth, I'll have like 5 conductors on the bus, knowing fully well that I wasn't making money. But for me, it was all about collecting those data, see how the movement of people are, and then creating employment for our youths. And then I've also involved in other charities where from time to time, myself and my wife will come to Freetown, we'll organize Christmas parties for the underserved communities. We will issue out books, bags, etc. All of those were done when I wasn't thinking about politics. And as I said, I replicated my same business in the US, where I've been able to create employment for some of our nurses and doctors. And currently, I am building a 300-bed hospital in Waterloo, which I started about a year ago. So 2 years, yeah.
That's good. So the reason why I asked, and especially coming from Kisii, you know how there is a serious poor infrastructure within that area and how congested it is, talk less of, you know, the trash on the floors and all that. So I asked that charity begins at home. So what have you been doing, even within your community, talk less of, you know, trying to manage the whole of Freetown? What impact have you created within the Kisii community?
Okay, so for example, last week Sunday, I visited the community that I came from, and they had a water issue, which I have approved that plan for us to be able to find the source of the water. And unfortunately, that's the only available water well in new sites that provides water for